Imagine you're standing in a store, wallet in hand. You probably don't realize it, but your brain is secretly and almost instantly calculating a really complex mathematical equation just to figure out your exact level of human happiness. Seriously, every single time you spend money, you are actively trying to maximize your joy based on a strict set of economic rules. Think about it. Let's say you've got exactly 50 bucks. Do you buy 3 amazing meals at your favorite restaurant, or do you blow it all on one ticket to see your favorite band? This is the ultimate real-life problem, right? We all have limited budgets, but unlimited desires. So how do we actually make that choice? By the end of this explainer, you are going to completely understand the exact concept economists use to measure that choice, the math behind it, and how to apply it in the real world. Here is our quick agenda. 1. Economics of happiness. 2. Law of diminishing utility. 3. Budgeting choices. 4. Calculating bang for buck. 5. Utility maximizing rule. And 6. Final takeaways.
All right, let's jump right in. Section 1, the economics of happiness.
So economists actually use a specific term to describe your level of satisfaction or happiness with the choices you make. That term is utility. And to make this easier to measure, they look at this happiness in imaginary little units called utils. Just think of a util as a single unit of joy. When you buy a concert ticket you love, boom, you gain a massive amount of utils. When you buy a pair of plain socks you just kind of need, well, you gain way fewer utils. But wait, hold on, this is absolutely crucial. A lot of people trip up right here. Utils are 100% subjective. That means they absolutely cannot be compared between two different people. Like, if I get 20 utils from a fresh cup of coffee and you get 10 utils from that exact same cup, it doesn't actually mean I enjoy the coffee twice as much as you do. We just have completely different internal scales. Utils only measure your preferences against your other preferences. Which brings us to Section 2, the law of diminishing utility. Let's make this perfectly clear with the classic pizza analogy. Picture this. You are literally starving. That first slice of pizza? Amazing. Pure magic. It gives you incredible satisfaction. But what about the second slice? I mean, it's pretty good, but not quite as life-changing as the first one. By the third slice, you're getting full. And the fourth slice, you might actually be saying, no more. Please, I'm done. Your satisfaction from each additional slice just goes down. In economics, this extra satisfaction you get from one additional unit of something is called marginal utility. And as we just saw, marginal utility almost always drops over time. For example, your first slice gives you, say, 22 utils of happiness. The second slice only gives you 18. The third drops down to 14. Now, your total happiness is still going up overall, but that extra burst of joy you get from each new slice, it just keeps shrinking. So, you're probably wondering, why exactly does this happen? Well, human desires naturally become saturated. We satisfy our most urgent wants first. Once you have a thick winter coat to keep you from freezing, a second coat is really just for fashion. A third coat is literally just taking up space in your closet. The urgency completely drops off, and therefore the utility drops with it. Okay, let's make this super concrete with an example. Section 3, budgeting t-shirts and movies. Meet Jose. Jose loves 2 things in life: collecting t-shirts and watching movies. Now, he has a total budget of $56. T-shirts cost $14 a pop, and movies are $7 each. Obviously, he can't buy unlimited amounts of both. So how on earth does he choose the combination that gives him the absolute maximum total happiness? Most of us subconsciously solve this in a pretty logical step-by-step way. Step 1, we just pick a random starting point on our budget. Step 2, we look at the marginal utility, that extra joy of the very next item we could buy. And step 3, we compare the utility we'd lose by giving something up against the utility we'd gain by trading for something else. Let's look at how Jose does this. Let's see this trade-off math unfold. Let's say Jose starts out at choice P, spending all his money on 4 t-shirts and 0 movies. That gives him 81 total utils. But what if he decides to give up that 4th t-shirt? Well, it's his least favorite shirt anyway, so he loses 18 utils. But he saves 14 bucks. With that $14, he can buy 2 $7 movie tickets. And those first 2 movies give him a massive 31 utils. So think about it. He loses 18 utils, but gains 31. That is a net gain of 13 extra utils. It's a no-brainer. He just continues moving down the options, trading shirts for movies, until his total utility maxes out at 103 utils, which happens right there at choice S. Guessing and checking is fine, but there is a faster way. Section 4, calculating bang for buck. To figure out the true value of an item, you can't just look at how much joy it brings. you have to factor in the cost, right? We do this by calculating the marginal utility per dollar. The formula is beautifully simple. It's just marginal utility divided by the price. This tells you exactly how much happiness you are buying with every single dollar you spend. Let's look at Jose's options again. His first t-shirt gives him 22 utils and cost $14. 22 divided by 14 is 1.6 utils per dollar. Now look at the first movie ticket. It gives him 16 utils, which is technically less total joy than the shirt, but it only costs $7. 16 divided by 7 is 2.3 utils per dollar. Because the movie has a higher marginal utility per dollar, it offers a way better bang for his buck. He should absolutely buy the movie first. Okay, let's do a quick mental check to make sure we're on the same page. If you're looking at an item that costs $5 and you know it's going to yield 10 utils of satisfaction, what is its marginal utility per dollar? Take a second. Did you guess it? Yep, 10 utils divided by $5 equals 2 utils per dollar. If you got that, you are literally doing the exact math of a professional economist. Which brings us to the ultimate formula, Section 5, the utility maximizing rule. This is the big one. The utility maximizing rule states that your budget is perfectly optimized when the marginal utility per dollar of your first good is exactly equal to the marginal utility per dollar of your second good. Simply put, the very last dollar you spend on t-shirts needs to provide the exact same amount of happiness as the very last dollar you spend on movies. If they aren't equal, you should keep trading the lower one for the higher one until they balance out. And look at how perfectly this rule proves Jose's choice. At his optimal combination, which was 1 t-shirt and 6 movies, the math aligns beautifully. The marginal utility of his first t-shirt was 22, divided by its $14 price, giving us 1.6. The marginal utility of his 6th movie was 11, divided by its $7 price, which also gives us 1.6. Both sides balance. This perfect equality is the telltale signal that Jose has found the absolute peak of his total utility. Let's wrap this all up. Section 6. Summary and final takeaways. So, here are the absolutely crucial points you need to remember. First, utility is just your own personal, subjective satisfaction. It can't be compared to anyone else. Second, because of the law of diminishing utility, your marginal utility, that extra little burst of joy, decreases with each additional unit you consume. And finally, to maximize your happiness on a fixed budget, you should keep spending until the marginal utility divided by the price is perfectly equal across everything you buy. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, I have never in my entire life calculated utils in the grocery store checkout line. And honestly, that's completely fine, because the truth is, you are already a calculating machine. Even without knowing the math or the fancy terminology, our brains subconsciously run this exact equation every single time we go shopping. We weigh the price against the joy, we consider what else we could do with that cash, and we naturally hunt for the absolute best bang for our buck. So, I leave you with this final thought. How are you going to spend your next $50? Next time you are deciding between a nice meal, a new shirt, or a concert ticket, see if you can catch your brain actively doing the math. And hey, if you found this fascinating, stick around, because in our next explainer, we're going to look at what happens when your budget suddenly shifts, how a drop or a massive surge in your income completely